Yep. Right, a friend in Cycling Club has asked me to just do a quick video on changing an inner tube. It sounds simple, but if you've not done it before, it can be a real pain. Or a headache, especially at the side of the road when your hands are cold. Not so bad this time of year. You can just sit in the sunshine, have a minute. Anyway, right. Oh no, my tyre is flat. So there's no sort of pretty way of doing this really. So I'm just going to crack on and do it. So unscrew this little nut here. Alright, that's the first thing you've got to do, otherwise you'll never get the inner tube out. Okay, and then see these little hooks? Most tyre levers will have like a little hook on the end. That is to get your first or second, depends on how many you want to use, lever hooked onto a spoke so it can stay in place. So I always do it opposite side to the valve because it's just, I find that easier. And if you're struggling to get the lever under the tyre edge, squeeze the tyre all the way around like that until it sits in the middle of the rim where there's a channel, because that's the shortest circumference, so the tyre will be looser, if that makes sense. Yeah, so squeeze the bead of the tyre into the middle of the rim. Alright, and that give you a little bit of slack. Alright, so then get your hook under your tyre, line it up with a spoke. So once you've got that pulled up and over, you can hook that onto a spoke. See that? It's now hooked on the spoke, and I can just let go and leave it there. This is going to keep the tyre from slipping back. And then I can get my other one, go along right next to it, and prise it out. This will eventually get so loose it will just fall off. Ready? Work your way around. Work your way around. You have to be delicate because you're going to throw this inner tube away anyway, probably, unless you're going to try and repair it. I tend to just carry a spare because, you know, it's just easier, isn't it? So all the way around, and that's now starting to get nice and loose. There it goes, look. It's good, that's nice and loose. You can get your fingers in there and run them all the way around. Alright. Dosh. There we go. So we've already removed that little nut, haven't we? So get your valve, push it up through. That makes sense? So just push that away from the rim and up through inside, and then you can just pull it out. Just literally just rip it out. Alright? Done. Right. Once that is out, I'm going to put this one back in, so because there's nothing wrong with it. Once that is out, top tip, always do this. Run your hand around the inside of the tyre, all the way around, because you could have a blackthorn or a piece of flint or something like that. There's going to be a reason you've got a puncture. It could be something that's just gone in and come straight back out again, but it could still be in there. And you don't want to put your new inner tube in, and then 2 seconds later it goes flat again. And you know, well, unless you're carrying a load of spare tubes, that could be a real bloody headache. So definitely do this. Right, moving on. New tube. Okay, find your valve hole. I've done a little video on the right valves to use. This is a Presta valve. All right, and this wheel only takes Presta valves. So you're going to push that through. I then straight away put this little nut on, but only a little way. Just put it on a little way to start with, and that stops that pulling back through. Okay, so that's back on. I'm not going to do it up tight yet. We're just going to put it on to stop the valve pulling back through while we're messing around with the inner tube. Okay, and then you're going to put a little bit of air into this tube. There's already a little bit of air in this one, so put a little bit of air into it so it's not completely flat. And you know, when you unfold them from new, unravel it, put a little bit of air in so it starts to go round, but don't pump it up. Just put a little bit, and that helps stop it pinching when you're pushing the tyre on. So start at the opposite side to the valve, all right, and just start push the inner tube up, working your way around. Excuse me, my hands hurt today. Working your way around, okay, all the way around. And like we did, you know, it's going to start getting tight, all right. And like we did when we saw earlier, you want to try and get the bead of the tyre, work your way around, and get that tyre into the shallowest part, and that should help you get the tyre back onto the rim. Some of them are just total pigs, and I don't care what anyone on YouTube or whatever says. Sometimes you just, you know, just for the sake of saving yourself a lot of grief. This one's really tight, okay, I know that. I don't know why these Maxxis Ramblers are a pig to get on these tyres. I just use my lever, and someone's going to go, oh God, don't do that. So hold this bit here, you know, where it's not quite on, hold that side there, otherwise it'll start to unravel, and just work your lever around. Just be careful not to catch your inner tube. Just work that round. You can see how tight that is. No matter how much I put that in the middle of the wheel, it's just not going to get any looser for me. Work that round until that starts to go on. There we go, it's almost on now. Yeah, this one is not the best one to show you with because it's a really tight tyre. But there, that's on. Job done. And that's it. Don't forget to tighten this little nut up until it's tight against the rim. Alright. One of the most common noise complaints on people's bikes, they go, "God, my bike's got a really annoying rattle." I always check this little nut first because often they're quite loose and people are riding along and that's rattling away against the rim, driving them crazy. It takes just a quick check of that. Oh, rattle stopped. I didn't need a new headset after all. Anyway, there you go, done. Hope that makes sense. Lovely old job. Have a good day.